All right, are we all set? All right, good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to call the Human Resources. Thank you. All right, welcome, everyone. I'd like to call the Human Resources Committee to order. Today is May 15th, 2025 at 4 o'clock. If we can just have a moment of silence. Amen. Should I wait? All right. Amen. All right. All right, moving on. Do I have a motion to approve the February 20th minutes? All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, the ayes have it. Old business, the CSI committee follow-up discussion. Yeah, would you mind pulling? Oh, wonderful. I really just, while you pull it up, I really just had a follow-up question.
Sure.
I know it sounds like, maybe it's tough to get people to serve on this committee, or I just didn't know how often we're sort of turning that over. That was really my last follow-up.
I've got that on there.
Okay.
Okay. So we can probably you can skip to the second slide. That first one just talks about there's 17 members, one non-voting chair. It's a mix of different departments, diverse classifications of employees. There's a mix of supervisory and non-supervisory. And let's go to the next one. So with that, maybe it's not on there. I thought it was on there. There are, they serve two-year terms. And so that's one thing that I have on the list of things to go over with the HR director. We'll talk a little bit about that at the end. But I think that needs to be looked at because I think we've had some people roll off, some turnover. So just need to look at, are we fully staffed there? And if not, get to that point. At one point, when I looked at the charter, the executive steering committee, the ESG committee that doesn't exist anymore, had a role in this. So we probably just need to look at that as well. Right now, the department heads nominate someone, and then it's also done in conjunction with the current members of the CSI Blue Team, and then it would go to the mayor for approval is the process.
Okay, great. Thank you. Again, for this committee, that was really just informational. If y'all were wanted to know, I don't want to suggest that you continue that work unless the committee sees it might be useful. I certainly think it would, just, it can't hurt. And I think it's important that you already have the system going, but just taking another look at it and making sure that everybody's getting a chance to serve if they want to serve. And because it's really wonderful. I mean, y'all put together such a wonderful, banquet for these winners. And so, yeah, just keep up the good work. Thank you.
Sure. And that just gives you an idea of what the nominations looked like last year. So 157 came in total. They can come in using our nomination form. They could also come in externally from the public with a customer comment card. Sometimes they come in by letters that we receive or the department receives, and 74 internal and 31 external. So we did change the system of, probably it was at least 5 years ago, so that we've got to focus on both internal candidates and external candidates, because we were finding that sometimes those people who are out in the public get more easily recognized, and there what maybe wasn't a push to look at the internal customer service as much. So so there's a mix of both there.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Very smart. I didn't think about that. Thank you. All right. Wonderful. Any questions from the committee? All right, moving on. Sworn hiring discussion.
Okay. We asked Assistant Chief David Griffin with the Fire Department, Sergeant Harville. They're kind of our liaisons within the departments that head up sworn hiring, and they had provided some additional information that I shared with you. I got some more information from the police department today. I think you had asked if we could get some comparable data, and we've got that kind of up here. And I don't know if maybe Chief Griffin, if you want to start and just review the fire stats there, and then if there are any questions, he could address those and we could have police do the same.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Those are actually 2024 numbers. So I'll go through those and then I can give you 2025 that we just ended hiring process for last week. So for fire in 2024, 483 total applications. That's anybody that put their application in, 379 complete. So 104 of them didn't submit either a license, transcript, or resume. 42 withdrew. That left us at 337 that were complete. From that, we had pre-academy events where we had about 80 folks come in and we went through the hiring process. They then RSVP'd for a ride along or some type of additional follow-up, and 19 of those either didn't show up for something they signed up for or they didn't sign up appropriately, so we removed them. 7 withdrew, 78 were disqualified from the list of disqualifiers that we get from HR. 233 were sent an email, sign up genius email for testing. For 142 confirmed they would attend. 38 didn't show up. 104 attended the written exam. 88 passed, 1 DQ'd for cheating. 15 did not pass. 88 remained after the written exam. 82 remained after we ranked their scores, and 47 job offers were extended. 2 did not pass the physical or the background, and then 45 started recruit school, and 40 graduated. Do you want me to share my screen for 2025, Heather?
Sure.
Yes,
Okay.
please.
I think you're gonna have to give me access to do it. It's not letting me share it.
Well, while we wait, I'll just mention, thank you for this data. I don't know if anyone else found it useful. I mean, Mr. Mayor, you probably see this a lot more than we do. But I mean, we're doing this now before we get the staffing update, but that was where the question sort of arose for me. But then after seeing it, it also made me think that, what a competitive program we have. Like at first, how can we fill those gaps came to mind, but then also, I mean, this is Charleston, South Carolina. I mean, we need the best of the best, so this application process, certainly, it seems like we're doing a lot to not only recruit if we're getting hundreds of applicants, right? Sure. I'd assume we want those classes to the final recruits or candidates to be a little higher. That would help with our staffing.
Last year, it had something to do too with capacity. And I was talking with, and Chief Griffin will probably talk about this a little bit in 2025, but they only could hold, I think it was 45 people within the training room that they had, or the system at Milford Street. So this year they have gotten a larger, they have switched out the facility, and they're able to accommodate, I think it's 55 was the number that someone mentioned to me yesterday. But Chief Griffin, if you just want to maybe hit the highlights for 25.
Yes, ma'am.
Pulling up a screen, I think that'd be, if that's okay with you.
Sure, please. And quickly, so is that going to change when we have the new op center? So that number will go up when we have the new.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great, thanks.
So yes, the capacity last year. So we have a trailer that's at the training tower currently that's been up there for at least 15 years. So we are now updating that. I know this is going to sound funny, to a triple wide trailer. So now we have a triple wide trailer we're gonna have 60 capacity in there. So we could do up to 60 people, which will help us. So for 2025, we had 565 total applications, which is about almost 100 more than last year. The biggest number that's a difference is the completed applications. It was 433. So our percentage went up. It was about 76%. National average for completion of an application is not 76%. It's anywhere between 10 and 20% at some normal jobs. In the fire service, it's about 50%. So 13 removed for no-shows at the pre-academy events, 15 withdrew, 92 removed for immediate disqualifiers, and then one actually joined the fire marshal division and removed himself from the process. So that left us 312 people we invited to test. 122 did not RSVP, but 190 did RSVP. So that's the most people we've ever had come in for a written test, which actually caused us to give 3 written tests in 1 day now in June. So that's going to be really good. And then from there, we're going to hire 52 or more. Heather just said 55, so maybe we can get away with 60. Sorry, Heather. But we'll hire as many as we need to based on attrition. Our numbers for attrition right now are looking like for January 1st of 26, we're slated to be at 59 vacancies. But as of today, we are at 26 vacancies in operations, 4 on day shifts. That's 30 vacancies. So out of 452 people as of today, 422 positions are filled. And then we'll start with 472 people on July the 1st.
Wow, incredible. Thank you. Thank you, Chief, for, Councilmember Mitchell?
I want to ask a question about that, but we are still lacking minorities that putting in an application? And secondly, are we still going into the schools?
Yes, sir. First question, we are not lacking as we were. We had almost 30 females this year, and we have between 40 and 50 diverse males. So that's increased a lot from last year. It's almost triple the amount of females as last year. So we had about half of them who RSVP'd for the test. So we're likely to have a larger contingent of that. And then, yes, sir, we're going into the schools. Chief Mike Gelazzo to focus more on local schools, Burke High School, schools that are more local to Charleston instead of such a wide state search as he did last year. And that's really paid dividends because a lot of our folks, we have a couple that are graduates from local high schools and a couple that are graduates from the Citadel, College of Charleston. So we have quite a few local folks that are in that process.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
That's great. Thanks again, Chief. I don't think the program, I mean, since I've been here, we just started that program at St. John's High School, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
We haven't had anyone come out of that program, or we have?
No, ma'am, not yet. There's a little bit of hiccups when that first started. We were giving instructors and a lot of the curriculum for that, but it really hasn't panned out to give us any results yet.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Chief. Again, thank you for compiling all this information, all this great data. I think it's wonderful. I mean, just round of applause to police, fire, y'all. I mean, this is incredible to see this many. I mean, I know we're a desirable place to live and clearly expensive from our last meeting, but we need fire, we need police, and I think these numbers are great. So I know fire and police, if they ever need something, I'm sure they'll ask us. But great, thank you.
And then I think Sergeant Harville may also be on the line.
Hey, Sergeant.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. How are y'all?
Good.
Good.
How are you?
Doing well, doing well. If you're ready to roll into it, we had 238 total applications last year. As far as it's comprised with the initial phase, 88 did not make it past that. We are pretty transparent in our hiring process, as well as the immediate disqualifiers and disqualifiers as labeled out by the South Carolina Criminal Justice Academy and state mandates. So 88 did not get through the initial phase. We also had 34 out withdrew from the process. Of those that we tested, 13 did not pass the physical assessment. We had 2 that did not pass the post-examination, which I'm not a big fan of acronyms. That's the police officers' standardized testing, which tests reading, writing, arithmetic, and English comprehension as mandated by the state level. And then once moving over to the oral interview portion of that, we had 5 that did not qualify there. Once we moved to the polygraph, which is one of our biggest areas that we see it, 32 did not make it through the polygraph based off of their own disclosures. And then finally, the final phase before they move to a conditional point in that overall testing phase, 8 did not make it through the background investigation. Of the candidates that we had, 56 candidates reached the qualified candidate stage, and 47 of those were hired in 2024. Without having it immediately in front of me, I want to say that is, I think, 57% up from 2023. And again, to reiterate, these are all 2024 numbers. Of the candidates, because we run 3 classes a year, much like fire does, for our basic law enforcement certification officers, 5 of those candidates that started in the 2024 process were hired into 2025. And then finally, we had 4 that did not complete the final offer process due to taking other positions elsewhere.
Okay, great. Thank you, Sergeant. And thank
You
you
bet.
both, Sergeant and Chief, for jumping on like I said, I think it's great data. I think it's great to know. I hope the committee gains some, we can gain something from it. And if y'all ever need anything, please let us know. But just again, great job. It sounds like we're getting the best of the best. All right, anything else? All right, moving on. Apologize. Staffing and retention report.
Okay, so this marks our first meeting where we'll be looking at our data quarterly. So this is our first quarter turnover, historically, so comparing this first quarter in 2025 with the last 3 years. So if we're just looking at, the first quarter of 2024 and how that compares to now, so we've got sworn fire turnover, it decreased 2.07%. Police increased to 2.19, and non-sworn increased to 3.79%. So if you look at 2022 and 2023, you can see that the quarter one police turnover, it's not terribly out of line, but it has gone up compared to last year. So out of the sworn officers that left the department, we had 1 retirement and 8 voluntary resignations in quarter one. 5 of those either accepted another job or they left for career advancement, and 2 of those people decided to leave local law enforcement altogether. 1 relocated, 1 left for personal reasons, and another left due to the hours required by the position. And then our projection as of quarter one, so it does show an increase from last year, but it's important to remember that this is only the first quarter, so our data is incomplete. But right now, we're projecting a 7.31% turnover for fire, 9.08% for police, and 14.3% for non-sworn. So you can see just how much one quarter with a high turnover for police can actually impact the projection, which again further supports the need to keep in mind that this is just quarter one, so we're only 25% of the way through our yearly data. So we expect this to change and ideally go down as we continue throughout the year. And now moving on to our staffing levels for quarter one. Quarter one 2025. So fire has gone down 1%. So at the end of quarter one, we had those 52 open firefighter and training positions that Chief Griffin mentioned. So those will be filled when they attend orientation on July 21st. And the police department staffing has actually gone up compared to this time last year, even with the higher turnover rate. And overall, these rates have remained fairly steady when we look at the first quarter of the past 3 years compared to 2025. It won't let me go to the next slide.
Okay, we're working on getting the next slide, guys.
Yes, could you go to the next one, please? Thank you. Okay, so finally, we have our non-sworn vacancy rates. So BFRC and Clerk of Council, they showed no change compared to our last quarter, which was the end of 2024. The executive department, we went up a little bit by 3%, and non-sworn fire went up a little bit by 6%, but housing went down by 5%, so we've got a positive there with getting those positions filled. HR has gone up by 5%, but since the end of the quarter, we've filled a vacant role with a temporary worker, so we should be looking better next quarter, ideally. IT, we went up a little bit by 2%, and same with livability and tourism by 7%, but parks saw no change. This can also be in part due to the fact that we've got 4 temporary workers there filling groundskeeper positions, so making sure that we're covering all of our parks. Planning and the non-sworn side of police, they both went up just a little bit by 1%, and public service as well went up by 6%. Recreation, we're up by 2%, but stormwater has decreased by 7%, which we all know is very important, especially as we're getting ready to head into our hurricane season. And stormwater, they had 10 agency temps at the end of the quarter to help where they were short-staffed. And finally, traffic and transportation, we didn't see a change, which really is a positive considering that we often find it hard to retain our parking enforcement officers. So overall, I think we're looking pretty good, and that concludes our staffing level data. Are there any questions?
Any questions from the committee? All right, I had a quick question.
Yeah.
Stormwater has gone down, which is wonderful. Like
Mhm.
you said, I think, public service.
Yeah.
So where are we seeing? I mean, can you tell us what specifically, maybe what jobs specifically may have led to that, the change?
I don't know right off the top of my head, but I can definitely get that for you
Okay,
and look at kind of what's vacant over there.
okay, because I'm assuming, I mean, is it trash? Is it CDL?
It could also be grounds custodians, because I feel like we have a hard time staffing those.
Okay.
And streets and sidewalks.
Okay,
But we can get you the details on those vacancies.
okay, wonderful. And I'm just, I mean, I know y'all are looking at it big picture, but stormwater with the temp, like if it is positions like that, the way that stormwater's manage some of those temp positions, is that?
Historically.
Yes, I will say that for public service, the grounds custodian positions have traditionally been a position we would fulfill with temps.
Okay.
The departments are trying to fill those more full-time vacancies. And I think that's some to do with the increase there, because they're now showing as vacant as they're trying to move through the process to fill. So
Gotcha.
those should be in a better state by next quarter.
Oh, okay. All right, great. All right, thank you. Yep, thank you for your report. All right, moving on, 4B, recruitment policy review. I believe I put this on here, so I was just, do we have a current ordinance?
We have a
Or
policy.
we just have a
and
policy?
we can go here and then we can go back to the update. Oh, or-
Almost.
Is it working, Isabel? Or John? Okay.
So we put this on here. This is directly from the handbook, and just kind of the summary of it. We do post positions externally, internally. Departments do have the ability to ask for an internal posting only, which is at least a 5-day posting. But as you can read in the policy as well, that we try to promote upward mobility within the city and reserve the right to do the attention of internal fulfillment. Or if there are positions that are appropriate, we also reserve the right to post official and executive level positions outside, so.
And when the department has a vacancy occur, they are communicating with us on the recruitment plan and letting us know, do they want that to be an internal only posting? Do they have some good qualified candidates where we feel like we could fill that internally to give our employees maybe a promotional opportunity first? If they could also decide to post it both internal and external, but
Right.
they'll work with Lindsay on that and also work with her on any sort of creative recruitment. Are there any websites, any kind of organizations where we could go to and maybe find some good candidates?
Okay. Okay, and I see it now. The city reserves the right to attempt to fill internally. Okay, so we don't have to post externally, I mean, via policy,
That's correct.
Correct.
right? Okay, okay, all right, thank you.
Absolutely.
And then if we can back up one, there we go.
So just an overall recruitment update as to what we've got going on in recruitment. We are still in summer mode. Our summer seasonals will be starting on Monday, so that's about 60 hires. We've already done the aquatics hire that was done earlier because we do have the pools open before summer camp opens. Right now, we are still engaged with Workday consultant to fine tune some different processes in Workday to make it more user-friendly for our city staff. I am rolling out a city staff wide Workday training for managers specifically on May 22nd. Managers process and Workday looks different than the standard employee. So I will be coming back to more of a Workday 101 for non-manager positions as well. So we're focusing on managers because they do have so much responsibility in the system. And then also we're continuing to create what we call reference guides that have pictures, words to help people with different processes in the system. Just an overview for new hire update for first quarter. We do have 107 full-time, part-time hires. And then, of course, the 100 seasonal hires that we are in the midst of in process right now. So we're excited for Monday. I know a lot of the seasonal hires are excited to come on board as they will all start June 2nd. It's hard to believe we're there, but it's great.
I know, we're all happy summer's here. Right. Well, that's wonderful. Do you, and are we pretty staffed? I mean, pretty fully staffed? I think Miss Yarborough gave us a pretty good update, not this month, but last month.
Mhm.
Are we pretty, I mean, seasonally, are we pretty full?
Yes, I'd say I definitely can let you know the specific numbers, but in terms of position fulfillment, we're pretty much
Yeah.
close to, I'd say close to a 90% fill.
Okay.
But I
All
can definitely
camps
give
are
you-
open, all pools are
Yes,
open. I mean,
we are open for business.
yeah, that's wonderful. That's wonderful.
And I feel like we've had more people in aquatics apply.
Yes.
I think having a sign-on bonus probably helps in attracting those people. And we've had people returning from last summer, so I thought that was a good sign.
Mhm.
That's great. Well, good. Well, hopefully we can keep them coming. Thank y'all so much. It is total workday. I appreciate as someone who can break any kind of technology. I think the reference guide is really a great tool to put together. And I'll put that maybe at our next meeting, maybe a workday update. I know that's not on the agenda, but I don't know how it's been going. So I hope it's been going well, but thank you for doing having those 2 items available to employees.
We did, just kind of to speak to the workday question, we did put out a survey to employees to gauge how employees are feeling about it, also to help us in figuring out where their needs may be as far as from a training perspective. That is set to close, I think, on the 23rd. So we're happy to share an update at the next meeting about the feedback that we received.
That would be great. I mean, it sounds like it's been really fun, right?
It's going well.
It's going well. All right. Any questions from the committee? All right. Moving on to, sorry.
One other
I'm sorry.
thing I wanted to just mention, and I handed out these cards, but just so that anyone who's attending online has a reminder, we've got Family Day at the Joe. So that's something that the CSI committee helps to spearhead and put on for us, but would love for everybody to join us that day. And if they are unsure how to get tickets, they can contact HR and we can help them with that.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. And this is the big softball game, right? Yeah.
That's correct. And fingers crossed that the weather will cooperate this year and we're gearing up for the softball game. So
Wonderful. Are you throwing out the first pitch again? All right. Well, wonderful. Thank y'all for all that wonderful information. All right, moving on to compensation study update.
Do that. It is still ongoing. We had a very good call yesterday, or the day before, with CBIZ, who did the initial study. As previously discussed, they need to do some additional data, needed some updated job descriptions, which are in process. We did want to bring on the new HR director, which jump to that one too.
Please.
She is scheduled to start June 16th. So that hire has been made, and looking forward to this committee meeting her when she starts.
Wonderful. We're excited to meet her as well. All right. Well, that completes our agenda. One item I did not put on there, but we did touch on Tuesday at City Council, was your move. So Human Resources is moving and the city has hired some movers to help make that process.
July
as-
1.
Right?
July 1.
Yeah. So
we went today and looked at the space again, and we're doing lots of measurements of where everything will fit and working with the Herald office people on configuration and cubicles and things like that. But we are packing, we are purging. We're
Yeah.
at STAR, we have a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So we're trying to consolidate.
Packing and
And-
purging.
Yes, we're doing a good job. We went digital on files, but any files we still have that were paper, we're working on digitizing. So we'll have less stuff when we move this time.
well,
So
great.
we'll be ready whenever they tell us we're going.
Well, great. Well, we just know that we're here for you and we appreciate y'all doing this. We know it's not easy to move, but we appreciate your support in this move. You all, the staff has supported a bigger initiative. You're part of a bigger initiative. So appreciate it. Hang tight and we'll be here if you need anything. But unless there are any other questions or anything else to come before this committee, we are adjourned. All
Thank
right.
you.
Thanks, everyone.